Hello, everyone. This is Kripa Anand, and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today, we are exploring the intersection of digital transformation and high velocity growth. In 2026, launching a product isn't enough. Organizations must unify their systems and infuse AI into their core strategies to drive data led performance. Joining us today is Vishal Shrivastava, Head of Team Leadership and Growth at Alphavima Technologies, a Microsoft Solutions partner. As a seasoned expert in AI product strategy, sales, and GTM execution, Vishal has a deep background across the public sector, nonprofits, telco, utilities, and equipment rentals. He specializes in building scalable SaaS solutions and drive business growth across multiple industries. So, before further ado, let's welcome this special guest. Vishal, welcome to the podcast. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Same here. Thank you, Kripa. That was a very good introduction. I admire the work that Canadian SME is doing, and with the series of the podcast, sort
Mhm.
of helping all the SMEs out there to gain, the knowledge and the expertise of the industry leaders out there. So
Right.
thanks and kudos to you.
Uh, those are some real kind words. Thank you so much for the support, Vishal. Now, many organizations, Vishal, struggle with a disconnect between the product that they built and the way the sales team is actually bringing this to the market, right? So,
Right.
let's start the conversation by understanding how do you align product, sales, and GTM for scalable success? Go ahead.
Right, that's a good question. So, in my mind, and based on the experience that we have gone through, it all comes to one keyword out here. In fact, two keywords: shared outcomes. Traditionally, these functions have been very heterogeneous and silos in their way, but
Hmm.
uh, today and going forward, what has come is that if the shared outcomes are defined across these three functions, they come together and they go ahead and align accordingly for the business growth. That's the key out here. And how do we do that? Now, it's important that the teams are also aligned. So it all starts with customer value. You have to have a customer value goal, and then
Hmm.
align your product, your sales, and your GTM out there. Most of the times, I've seen that we have gone ahead and built products with random features, many features
Yeah.
out there, but the question that we are asking is that is each feature sellable and is it generating an ROI? If there's no dollar value associated with the feature these days,
Hmm.
it's very tough to even go ahead and market it out there. So all these messagings actually come together. But the key is obviously having a good feedback loop, ensuring that product is in line with the customer value, and then your
Hmm.
GTM aligns with that. So I would try to summarize it.
Very well articulated. Creating a unified front between your developers and your sales team is, the only way to ensure that the market actually values what you are building, right? Uh, Next, let's explore the build, buy, or integrate decision in modern tech stacks. Now, awareness is a key issue in this industry as well, right? People
True.
don't know which direction to take or which position to go. With your extensive experience, Vishal, I'd love for you to take this opportunity and educate our listeners on how should businesses decide whether to build, buy, or integrate solutions.
True. I mean, this has been a classic question,
Yeah.
since we have been into the IT age out there, right? The way I see it is very simple: build for differentiation, right?
Hmm.
Buy the for standard needs, right? And then you might want to integrate when everything starts working together. So, say if I have a core business which is very, it has a differentiating value out there. I'm not going to the market and trying to buy some standard tools which fit into my core processes.
Of
I will go
course,
ahead
you
and
have your
build.
own unique USP.
Absolutely. So the
Yeah.
unique USP, I'll go ahead and build it.
Yeah.
For the standard tools, if it is an HRMS system, if it is a CRM or finance, there are tools available. So I'll go and buy them
Yeah.
out there, right? Those are standard tools that are there. And then the two factors that come into the picture is speed and scalability. So from now, if I have to think 5 years
Mhm.
down the line, at what speed I'm building, and is this system going to be scalable, right? So those two factors determine my decision making as of today out there. So as I say, I don't build what you can buy, right? And
Mhm.
don't buy what defines you is something that I would put it in that way.
Wow, those are golden words that, if anyone remembers, they could go a long journey. And I agree with you. Prioritizing speed to market while maintaining that long term flexibility, is the hallmark of a truly data led growth strategy. So that's amazing. Next, let's look at how culture and leadership drive team performance. Now, Vishal, when we talk about culture or leadership, everyone has a different definition or a way of defining it, right? And it means a different thing to every single individual. So, from your perspective, please share, how do culture and leadership impact hiring and retaining top tech talent?
Right. That's a good question, and it's a constant, thing running in our mind as leaders. How
Yeah,
do we hire people, the right people, and how do we
right.
retain that? So it's a bottom up and a top down approach is what I see, and somewhere in the middle, the three keywords comes is growth, purpose, and the people you're working with. Right. So those are the three things that the leaders also should focus, and
Yeah,
even the people who are joining a company should also focus if that is aligned. If these are misaligned in some junction, then that's a clear indication that it's not working within an organization. And
yeah.
it all starts from the leadership. The leadership has to define a clear growth purpose and the culture or the work culture out there. And then that's how the employees and the consultants who join the company, they find out that if it aligns to their value system or not. The other
Hmm.
thing that also I've learned over the years is leadership is not about only tasks and outcomes, right?
Yeah,
And there is
exactly.
something that I learned very early, and I'm still practicing. By the way, it's still a tough job to manage talent out there. We are still
Yes.
learning. The term that I always bring forward is situational awareness. You cannot just deal with
Hmm.
task and outcomes. You also have to read the room early. Any burnout, any disengagement, any misalignment within the teams. If you can read as a leader quickly, then you
Yeah.
can actually go ahead and fine tune it and streamline the entire processes out there. But yeah, it's getting tough, and it will be tough because with the age of AI that is coming in,
Yeah.
there's a lot of disruption happening. But I also see these as complementary things out happening. It can augment AI can augment the work culture also in different ways, in bringing people together. So we'll talk about that in more in the rest of the podcast.
Wow, I think I couldn't have asked for a better, well balanced answer. If I were in your spot, my answer would have been pretty similar as well. Because, people are any company's greatest assets. And I just read this somewhere recently that a company culture is not just some words on a wall, right? It's
True,
how
true.
people feel on a Sunday night. So I think that changes the entire perspective. And building on
Yeah.
what you just said, Vishal, here's a special message for all of our listeners, specifically to all the founders and tech leaders watching. In 2026, AI is a tool, but your people are your power. Vishal and the team at Alphavima are proving this by building a massive talent pipeline through local university internships and internal upskilling. If you are heading to the Canadian SME event next month, which I'm sure all of our listeners are, at the Small Business Show on May 22nd, make sure that you do connect with Alphavima to see how they are infusing AI into tangible product setups. Don't just follow a plan, pay attention to your surroundings and your team's energy. Leadership isn't just about the tasks, it's about the awareness that allows your team to thrive in the chaos of a shifting market. Now, coming back to you, Vishal, uh, let's explore turning product value into real customer adoption. So,
Right.
these two are very separate things, right? And there's a journey that it takes from getting from exhibit A to exhibit B. So, from that perspective, how do you drive strong product adoption and also customer success consistently?
So this has been a constant um, evolution, I would say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every customer is different, right? But there are certain patterns that have emerged out there. And the pattern is the moment any solution or any product, it can be anything out there, any product or service today, it has
Yeah,
to give you the value from day one, right? And it has to make you feel that, hey, I spent an X amount of dollars out there, an X amount of
yeah,
energy or people out there, and I'm buying or procuring such a product or service. It has to give me the value from day one. Now, how do I do values? So, from a pure IT system implementation out there, Gone are the days that if I train you on a product or service, I give you a lengthy technical document, and then I say that, okay, you follow this, and I train you one time, and then you are on your own. That does not
Yeah.
work anymore. So it's more visual now. You have to create visual snippets around it. You have to
Yeah.
have more visual of how to use the system, and then also uh, the, the moment it is installed or it is deployed, what are the key things that I'm getting in the first week that is solving or reducing my time, right? That's the idea of any system that you're trying to bring into the picture. So
Correct.
those are constant. It's not a one time activity. We have seen that every month, every day, there are feedback loops that have to be installed, and
Hmm.
those feedback loops are in the process of change management, because it's a change for them and they
Yeah.
want to learn the system. But how easy can we make them to learn the system? And if I can quantify that, hey, okay, by doing X thing in the new system, you're
Yeah.
actually saving X amount, and then you can sort of take better decision, and with the time that you have gained out of that system. So just to summarize it, it's evolving. We are seeing that it's not a one-time activity.
Hmm.
Customer adoption or product adoption is not. It's a continuous process, and you have to invest every month, every day, even after the product is installed, to educate
Right.
the end user out there.
Definitely. I 100% agree with what you just said. Focusing on user centric adoption ensures that your digital transformation actually delivers the revenue growth it promised initially, right? So that's amazing. Now, touching back to the AI conversation that we had, let's do a little time travel. Imagine I give you a time machine right now and say we were to go 5 or 10 years into the future. When you get out of that time machine, how exactly do you envision AI changing this industry, specifically for the small and the medium businesses? I'll give you a context for this. Earlier, the access was only to the large or the multinational corporations, right? Now there's a leveling playing field for everyone who is involved in the game. So from that angle, what do you suggest? How should a business, use AI to better fit into their module? And also, what do you envision when you step out of the time machine? So share that, Vishal.
Okay, so that's taking me into the future out there. But yeah, it's a good question, and somehow I see there's a lot of noise, and people are getting overwhelmed with the AI as the term,
Yeah.
right? And see, technologies have always come and gone. Actually, a couple of years back, blockchain was a big thing, right? So
Yeah.
people were, yeah, and it's still there. People use that technology. So in my mind, AI is something that will augment things. It's not going to replace anything out there. So how quickly I can adapt and learn from the AI, that's the key thing out here. So your core objectives still remain the same for any business:
Yeah.
customer experience, increasing productivity, unlocking any new revenue systems out there. So that is the standard problem statement for any organization. Now, whether I
Right.
can do it without AI or with AI is a business decision that I have to make. Now, if I've made a business decision, say that let's use AI,
Hmm.
then I will go ahead and start looking at investing in the technology and investing in people who know AI. And then
Mm-hmm.
what I see, going forward, if as you said, a couple of years down the line, if I have to travel out there, I would see a coexistence of both out there. So the human mind will have to become creative, right?
Right.
And the AI would help. AI is still going to take instructions from the human mind, but how
Yeah.
creative we become in sort of interacting with AI and bringing that into our
Mm-hmm.
ecosystem of product development or IT system. That
Yeah.
is something that is going to be the key. If you're not creative in using AI, then definitely we'll be left behind. But that's what I foresee and I envision, that
Mm-hmm.
these two will coexist. There's nothing that will replace a human, if that's the the
Yeah.
challenge and overwhelmed how industry is.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I can see. It will be a good coexistence in the future.
That was a pretty reassuring answer, and you've painted quite a picture there with the future. And I agree with you with what you said. If a business person or owner is using AI for the repetitive tasks or the things that just waste a lot of time in the day, right, and use that extra time for strategic thinking or decision making process, then definitely it's a perfect blend. I'm loving this conversation, Vishal, and definitely I'd love for you to be back, hopefully, for an in-person episode that we do next. But for now, before we let you go, if there's one final piece of advice that you would want to give to everyone who's listening to you right now and who is overwhelmed, if you could whisper one sentence into their ear, what would you say and why?
Okay, so first thing is we don't have to be overwhelmed with all the technology, thing going on around AI, the
Uh-huh.
Instagram reels that are coming on AI and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we have to start small. Start if even Canadian SME, if today they are trying to implement something, they will always think from a business objective out there. So nothing to get overwhelmed out there. But yeah, and it's not something that we are lagging behind. If my competitor is ahead of us in AI adoption, doesn't mean that we are lagging behind. The answer is how sure we are in trying to bring AI to align to our business goals. That is
Yep.
the key. Once that decision is made, you'll have the right talent, you have the right tools to fit in into your system, and then you go out and execute out there. So start with your business goals, not with the technology question, and
Uh-huh.
then you may ask yourself, how can AI actually solve a real problem or can improve an outcome within my organization, whether it's Alphavima Technologies or whether it is Canadian SME.
Wow, that is indeed a great reminder that paying attention to your surroundings is often more important than the plan itself, right? Thank you so much for joining us, Vishal. It was such a pleasure to have you with us.
Same here. Thanks for inviting me. And I remember the date, 22nd May, is where you are,
Huh?
having an event
Right.
in Ontario, Toronto. So we all are looking forward to that, and we'll be there to support you.
Perfect. Great. Looking forward to everything that we are building ahead. All right. That was Vishal Shrivastava from Alphavima Technologies, a masterclass in product strategy, AI integration, and GTM and the leadership awareness required to build high performing teams. To all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning into the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and visit CanadianSME.ca for more such resources. To learn more about how we are supporting the ecosystem, please visit the Canadian SME Small Business Foundation at smbfoundation.ca. And lastly, a special thank you to our partners, UPS and ADP, our HR partner, for their ongoing commitment to empowering SMBs across Canada. I'll see you all in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.